A touching experience is what really got the Ridges to River project going.
It all started with a desire to make our sturgeon touch experience much bigger so we could accommodate a lot more people, bigger fish, more fish. You can just walk up to the exhibit, reach in with 2 fingers, and actually touch a lake sturgeon as it swims by.
And then the thought of an expanded, more modern interactive display for a native prehistoric creature prompted even loftier goals.
We took a look at the entire gallery and decided the whole space needed a facelift, and so we really wanted to focus on the diverse species that live in the southeast and the rivers and streams here.
And so began another enormous challenge in Jeff Worley's long career in the Tennessee Aquarium.
Well, my end of it is mostly on design, and so when our aquarium staff came to me with the desire to make the tank larger, they had just sketched out a design on literally a napkin and said, do you think we could do something like this? And so I took that sketch and did some scale drawings of it, and then we created a model out of cardboard, foam board, and clay, and we 3D printed little sturgeons, so everything was in scale, and we decided to include some stream exhibits. And so again, our aquarium staff got together and they said, you know, we'd like to display these kinds of fish that are out there, but nobody really gets a chance to see them.
Others on the team brought their own expertise to the project.
We went and collected fish for it. We picked out all the landscaping for it, and we kind of take care of the daily needs of all the fish that are in the exhibit. We got a lot of them from the wild. So we just use a seine net and hand nets to catch, and we use snorkeling to kind of scope out where the fish are and what kind of fish we're wanting. We're not just collecting every fish we want. We're only going to collect bigger ones that are going to look good on exhibit. We don't really want small ones. We want to give them a chance to kind of grow up before we get them. We would go up to the Tellico River. We would go over to the Collins River. We went to the Chattanooga River. So we went to a lot of different spots around Tennessee and Georgia.
Of equal importance was preparing everything behind the scenes to create a healthy atmosphere for the fish to survive.
Well, for any fish, you want to think about their environment. So water temperature is really important. pH, obviously you want to make sure that the water is really clean and you don't have any ammonia or anything. But then once you start to get into the nitty-gritty, things like flow, things like maybe raising the temperature seasonally, as well as like habitat. So for darters, for instance, you know, you want to have a flat rock that they can kind of hide under and feel safe.
That's basic instinct, even though these fish don't have to worry about natural predators.
Fish do really well whenever they feel comfortable in their environment. It's something we really enjoy, and it's something we've refined over a long period of time is how to work with the fish that are found in the region, and we've learned a lot about what they specifically need in terms of their care. You know, Tennessee has over 300 species of freshwater fish, but I think some of my favorite are the darters. Specifically, we have tangerine darters here, which is a really big 6 to 7 inch darter. Darters are bottom living fish. They don't have a swim bladder, so they live in really fast moving bodies of water, and they usually dart around the bottom looking for food. They exhibit really bright, beautiful breeding colors. And so one of the things we do is try to learn about how to get them to color up and sort of exhibit their breeding coloration.
An innovative and also laborious step in the process was to develop a working prototype.
One of the really cool things that we did was we built a full-scale model of the stream, the large stream tank out at our warehouse. And because we really needed to see how is this thing going to work at actual size? How are we going to get the water to rush through and look like a real stream? How are we going to get the animals to you know, swim upstream and behave or rest on a rock when there's fast moving water? Where should those jets be positioned in order to create that water flow? And so we have a super talented group of folks here at the aquarium, from our maintenance department to our husbandry department, and they came together and they built this thing out of plywood and waterproofing and lined it with tarps and cinder blocks. We had cinder blocks and bags of rocks and gravel that would just kind of simulate the actual rock work, and we could move things around that way to see how it affected that water flow. And it's been so useful. We actually have filtration on it, and we've got animals that we put in there just to watch their behavior. We put windows in the side of this thing so we could look in under the water and see what they were doing.
Along with quality care for the fish, each decision is made with visitors' experience in mind.
We've got a rainstorm tank, which is a small stream exhibit, and we go through a cycle where it rains, you hear thunder and see lightning, and the wind kicks up in the tank, it moves the plants around.
And obviously they love touching the sturgeon, so popping up and acting like they're a fish in the pop-up tank, so I really hope that we'll convert a few of them to southeastern fish lovers.
Ultimately, the judges of all this work are the thousands of visitors who come through the Tennessee Aquarium each year.
It's really cool. Being able to touch the sturgeon was a new feature, and we're trying to get him to do it, but he's got to warm up to it, I guess. Yeah.
We learned about protecting the water because they need fresh, clean water just like we do.
I think when you come to the aquarium and you see what's out there, I think it gives you a great appreciation to take care of our environment and each other, so they'll take care of us.
Such comments make it clear that at least some people will leave here having understood the most significant messages the aquarium is sending their way.
So many animals and places, they need our help because of the pollution and introduced species and things like that are making life hard for them. So if we can get people excited and educated about what's needed and get them to think about their plastic use and litter and pollution and silt and runoff and all those things, then I think that's the goal.
I grew up in East Tennessee all my life, and I never knew until like college or until I took an active interest in fish that we had some of the best aquatic biodiversity in the world in the southeast, especially in eastern Tennessee. So I think I just want people to come by and take a look at all of the cool fish that we have, all the cool behaviors that they have, and we are just as important to conserve as the Amazon rainforest or somewhere very far away. There's stuff right here in your backyard.